Good morning and welcome to the video for Monday, June the 1st. This is going to be our video for 6th graders moving into 7th grade. One of the first things that you'll do in 6th grade is to work with integers. So as a review, our integers are positive and negative numbers that we can use to add, subtract, multiply, and divide. In 6th grade, we did a lot of things working with absolute values. So some of those things will carry over here, but we have a few additional new rules to cover as well. So this will kind of introduce you to those concepts. So here is my number line. I'm going to try to model as much of this as possible on the number line, as well as give you different examples that you can think about. So the first thing I want to do is go ahead and review what we've already talked about. So if I do a positive number plus a positive number, I am very obviously going to be moving in this direction. If I go ahead and change it to adding a negative number, I'm going to need to put this part in parentheses. And we would end up rewriting this problem essentially as being a subtraction problem. So we could say that this is equal to 2 minus 3. Or we could also say that it would be equal to negative 3 plus positive 2. So in either of those cases, what we can do is say that we are counting backward 3. That would take us back to negative 1. If I use the commutative property of addition to start with my negative 3 and count up 2, that would also give me negative 1. And if I did 2 minus 3, that would give me negative 1. So that's probably the easiest rule that we have to work with. Now we're going to get into some of the stranger things. The first one, again related to addition and subtraction, is this idea of having a double negative. So in language arts, you've probably been told you can't have a double negative in a sentence because it doesn't make sense. There's a similar idea for math. And what happens if we try to take a number and subtract a negative number? So I'm going to try to clean this up a little bit. So if I try to start with 2 and I take away a negative 3, what I'm essentially doing is adding 3. So this part would end up canceling itself out and becoming an addition problem when we're done. And we're going to have something similar when we're multiplying as well. So the rules for multiplying, if we have a similar sign, whether it's both positive or both negative, so let's take a look at multiplication. So I'm going to write out a couple examples and we're going to talk through these really quick. So we can already know that 2 times 2 is 4. I do 2 times negative 2. Then that would be the same thing as counting one group of negative 2 and then a second group of negative 2 to get to negative 4. And then if I want to do negative 2 times negative 2, then what I'm doing is I am saying that I am going to take the opposite of the answer to 2 times negative 2. So that would give me an answer of positive 4. So if I have 2 positives together multiplying, I'm going to get a positive product. If I have 2 negative numbers as my factors, I'm going to have a positive product. If I don't have matching, either positive or negative, then that means I'm doing a positive number times a negative number, which is going to give me a negative number for my product. Similar thing is going to work for division. So that covers a couple of the ideas that I want to talk about for today. Hope this makes sense. This is a little bit more tricky concept to learn initially because we spend so many years focused on basic addition and subtraction and multiplication and division working with positive numbers. And then this is the first time that we throw a real wrench in the works. So hopefully these rules will make sense for you. Understand why it works that way, and then this will be something that you can retain as you start the school year next year. For any additional practice, if you want to just kind of work on a number line and try to experiment with different things and try to figure out why things work out the way they do, that would be great. But again, this is more just kind of familiarization for something that you'll be working on next year. So hope you have a wonderful day. Hope your summer is going well, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.